UK, you will see his products. Now, someone is yet to take advantage of the Nigerian market. And that one alone is such a very big market. Now, let's take a look at this. Out of all the, okay, let's say for example, you are not even facing all the local government. Let's say you are taking 3 local governments. How many local governments? 3. And you make up your mind that all the shops, all the supermarkets in these 3 local governments, I am going to make sure they have my product. That's my target. If each of the local governments has about 50 shops, how many shops will your product be in? 150. Now, the advice I will give again for picking the right shops or picking the right local government is that you can check out for residential areas. Residential areas are places that are, you don't have many offices there. Now, places like Ikorodu is highly residential. Places like Surulere, highly residential. Places like, although a lot of offices are moving in there, places like Isolo, Okota, they are highly residential. Ijegun, they are highly residential. Then when you look at a portion of Lekki, is also residential. Now, if you pick like 3 local governments and you decide to put your product in 150 shops, and putting your product in 150 shops alone will give you a brand that will work. You will make cool money without stress. And you are not doing any new thing. You are just packaging the normal garri people know about. The same thing you can do to vegetable oil and oil. I mean, these are simple things that people will not do on a normal day. And you know, you have so many other ones like that. And these are things that I have personally researched into, and I know it myself. And then if you want to even go further and make it more serious, you can decide to get the space and get NAFDAC approval. Getting NAFDAC approval for that is very, very easy. And you know, in case people will ask you, oh, you don't have NAFDAC approval, the one you buy from the mama beside the road, does it have NAFDAC approval? You know, our people can be funny at times. But however, if you want to do the NAFDAC approval thing, it's also very easy for small startups. So it is an idea that you can do. Now you can now take it further, exporting it abroad. Now if you want to export it abroad, the major thing you need is the contact. Okay, before I explain that, let me just say this. Now if you take, for example, a bag of garri, for example, you are likely to make, if you are doing the packaging I just mentioned, you are likely to make a minimum of about 100% packaging it. That's the worst case scenario. Because the price, you even if those people have finished making the garri already, and then you just buy it from there, from those places, and then you now bring it to the city and repackage it, and then you seal it, because your sealing machine, it depends on how the quantity you want to produce. There are different types of sealing machine. And then if you decide that, okay, I'm going to seal in this quantity. Now, I need to quickly say that if you are looking at areas that let me say like areas that highly populated, and you know that they are not going to pay high prices for high products, what you can focus on is you can come up with something like you know, size of the pure water bag. I don't know if you remember those days when the abokis, many of them, they were increasing in Lagos, and they started selling garri to Yoruba people. They make it in those small nylons, and the things sell very seriously. Now, remember that was how ice water used to come, before it was packaged in pure water. And the same thing is going to happen to garri very soon. So, if you can do a brand that can even deliver to people at home, it's going to be a big plus. Now, if you now leave that realm, you can decide that, okay, I want to export. If you want to export, one of the basic things you have to do is look out for people that are going to buy it off you. You could Google out their name. We have a lot of shops in the UK precisely. A lot of them deals in Nigerian foods, and you can be sure it's higher than the normal price. Like for example, the price of the normal Indomie that is sold for 1,050 naira here, they buy it for £8.99 in the UK. That is like over 100%. Now, if you get to NACO there, just walk up to NACO. NACO is the one in charge of cargo and all of that. You will find people that can help you export it from Nigeria to UK and to US, any quantity. And I can tell you as I'm talking now, if you drop 2 million container, if you drop 2 million pieces of that Indomie, there are people that are waiting for you to pick it up in the UK. Why? Because that's what Nigerian buys there. They buy the Nigerian Indomie here, there, and that's the price they sell it. And it's moving very fast. Moving very fast. So, if you now have a situation where you can easily export it, the major thing you need is to get the contact there and then let them help you arrange for how to distribute it. It can be somebody you already know. It can be your brother that has refused to send you money all the while. So now just tell him that, please, I'm not begging for money again. I just want you to do me a favor. Can you give me a day? Say yes. I want you to help me look for a number of shops that can take this quantity of stuff off me. I have gari, I have beans, I have Indomie, I have palm oil, I have all of this. Please, can you help me arrange for shops that will take it? What happens is that over there are people that have certificates to be able to receive the Nigerian food. What they need to help you do is find those people. If they help you find those people will receive it, and then they will charge you a fee. And then when it's collected, they distribute it to those shops. Those shops can pay you in 2 weeks. It's either they drop it there and they tell them to come back for money or pay you instantly. Now, there are 2 ways that can be done again. If you want them to pay you instantly, you can make the price cheaper. If they want you to come later, you can make the price higher. So, this process is something that is not very, very cumbersome, as many people expect it or suppose it is. So, it's a very good way of making a lot of money. And apart from that, there are a number of other things you can export and make a lot of money. There is serious money when you export. In fact, they give you 30% tax off in Nigeria when you export in large quantities. So the system here encourages you to export as much as possible. So within the period of the time you are planning to develop and circulate your product within Nigeria and thinking about how to expand it, you can start making the foreign contacts to see how possible that is. There are a lot of Nigerians there that what they eat is just as if they are at home. So as much as possible, there's a lot of money to be made from that area. Then apart from that, I wanted to mention about snail when I was speaking about farming, what I forgot. But basically, when you think of snail is the number of people producing it in Nigeria is very low, and the quantity needed is very, very high. I need to explain that if you take a number of all the number of eateries we have in Lagos alone, the farmers we have supplying snail cannot meet their demand. Hotels use snail, eateries use snail, and for you to do snail is something that you can do at your backyard because you don't need a special space. That's it. All you need basically is who do I supply? Okay, if I have 10 hotels that I supply and I have the snail here, all I need to do is get their LPO and then do their supply, collect my money. How do you grow the snail? If you buy a couple of male and female, just get a very big, what's it called now? Let's say basin, very big one. Put sand in it. make sure the sand is wet, and put the snail on top, and then you are good to go. And then it doesn't smell, so all you might need to put on top is this net, this iron net, so that it doesn't move out. And before you know what is happening, you give them their food and then it produces. That is how snail work. So you don't need any special whatever. Now, you cannot lose your money when you invest in snail. Why? If nobody is buying from you, you remove the thing and eat yourself. Amen. You know, Solomon said that the only thing you enjoy in this world is what goes inside your... At least if they know the buy, I chop the thing now. Amen. Amen. Now, ordinarily you will find market. You will find a lot of market for it. A lot of market. And if, let's say, you supply 100 hotels, for example, and let's start from 10, and then you set goals for yourself. Okay, I'm supplying 10 now. In the next 2 years, I want to supply 50. In the next 5 years, I want to supply 200. And then you set goals for yourself, and then you have that one going there. And ordinarily, it starts working like that. It is something you can do, and your job will not be affected. So it doesn't have to affect your job. The same thing with the gari, whatever I've just told you. Now, let me quickly go to Ofada rice. Ofada rice produce 150% returns.
Wow.
Yes. If you get to a place they call Ofada village, Strokowode, this is the way it's done. You will see there are farmers that grows Ofada rice. And those farmers, they don't have the money to be able to run a mill. So what they do is that they harvest and take it to people that have the machine to help them, you know. And when they process it, after processing it, and it comes out as Ofada rice, instead of them to pay the people that have the machine or the mill, what they do is that the people that have the mill buy it off them and pay them. So the people that are selling to us here are the people that now go to the millers or to those that have the machine and buy from them and start selling to us. And I can tell you authoritatively, you make as much as 150%. And when you want to buy, just locate those people that are milling the stuff. Of course, if you get to Ofada, that's why they call it Ofada, because that's where Ofada rice comes from. Ofada is just like, okay, we should know where Ofada now. Yeah. That's where the Ofada rice comes from. And ordinarily, the number of people that consume that as well, you can go in the same packaging process with, what's it called? The way you do the gari thing, you can do that. Now, we have 2 seasons for that. We have the dry season, we have the wet season, and during the dry season, the price goes up. During the rainy season, the price is low. During the rainy season, you can buy a lot. Let's say, for example, during the rainy season, the price can be like, let's say, 5,000 for what do they call this thing now? I've forgotten the name. Okay, it's just like a container, or what they call it garawa or gallon or whatever. Now, in that particular stuff, it's a standard measurement. In that particular stuff, you can get about 40 dirikas inside it, and you buy it for 5,000. And the dirika here is sold for about between 300, 400, and like that. Now, during the dry season, it becomes more expensive. So if you buy during the rainy season, you can actually preserve it for the dry season, because it's something that you can preserve. And it doesn't get spoiled. Because when you store it in a place and there is like heat on it, the moment you wash it and you put oil on it, it comes alive again. So it's such a lovely business that can make you pull money. Because what's it called, your product cannot get destroyed. The same thing goes with honey. Your product cannot get destroyed. If you buy honey for 10 years, all you need to do is make sure that it does not touch the ground directly. Just place it on the plant. If you don't sell for the next 10 years, your product is there. And then you are sure of not less than 100% returns. So you can decide that I want to specialize in this agri product. I want to distribute it. There are people that distribute pure water, isn't it? Now, most people prefer to go and be distributing pure water. You see, look, if you look at some of these things critically, these things are not like very new. It's something that you can put a particular brand. If you want to put, let's say for example, you want to put tea food. So on the garri they will see tea food. On the honey they will see tea food. On the ofada rice they will see tea food. So anywhere they see tea food, they know it's meant for standard. And then you can develop a good supplying system. The first area where you need to probably take time is where you need to go and discuss with the shop owners. When you discuss with them appropriately, as far this is how I'm going to supply you, this is how I'm going to collect it. The moment you start doing that, I mean you have been able to do that, all you need to do is send the person that will supply for you. You don't need to be there again. You finish the remaining conversation on the phone and you go to your work. And you can be sure that that one is making you extra income. And these are things that even if they use so many long time in their shop, it doesn't get destroyed. So it's an added advantage, it's a plus. So you can look at that side, and a lot of Nigerians want these things in the UK, in the US, even in Dubai. But if you are going to send it to the UK, I've explained that, then the US too, the same thing, then the US you may need to get the FDA certificate. The FDA certificate will be needed for you to be able to export it. But basically, just like you need it in the UK, the same thing operates in the US. So there are people that will just take this stuff from there and then they are certified to take such food. Because most of these European countries and developed world, they don't want contamination or pests or whatever. So because of that, they don't allow, you just bringing in whatever. So they want to vet it and make sure it's okay. So that way you'll be able to get it across all of those countries. And I can tell you that if you are making 100% here, you can be sure that you make 200% from what is coming in there. There's a lot of money. There are people that will just take it off you there. Now, quite a number of people don't want to do anything. They just want to have money. That's the spirit that is operating these days. And I do not want you to join the bandwagon. There is dignity in labor. When you put a system down that works for you, you tend to enjoy it for life. If you close your eyes today and you set up a system like that, your family will bless you that you set up a system like that. It's something they can wake up and continue to run. So that's just one of the ideas anyway. So basically, I want you to look at it from that angle. Now, I said that today I was going to be mentioning, talking about real estate, and I did say on Wednesday that the Bible is the book of real estate itself. It's told us about people coming from a place and then they are going to another place. And that's the way the Bible opened up. And then it spoke about the struggle for people trying to leave the land of Egypt to the land of Canaan, and why they were molested in a particular land because they came from another land. And then over and over and over and over in the scriptures, you will see the Bible talking about the issue of land, and then some people waking up to say, no, you will not pass through here, no, this is our territory, no, you will join us, no, you will not join us. And now, you will get to understand with me that land issues are very, very important. And the moment you are able to be a possessor of land is one of the major signs that you are blessed. Because one of the major things God does for people when He wants to bless them is that He gives them property. That's one of the major things, and that is all over the scriptures. That is seen all over the scripture. Do you know what Jesus said in the Beatitude? He said, "Blessed are the meek, for they shall inherit the earth." Now, if you go and check the original Hebrew meaning, the etymology, for those that have gone to Bible school, if you check the etymology of that earth, it's referring to property and land. And if you check the word meek, the etymology of that meek, it does not mean somebody that is weak. It refers to someone that is disciplined, courageous. He can take a decision as at when due. And that is what you need to be able to take advantage when it comes to property. Now, the other time I was explaining something about the fact that there is a particular period someone retires, and there is a particular period that one will just get to start not collecting any salary, or no income will be coming in, and you still need to be paying house rent, you still need to be paying school fees. Now, before that period comes, one of the major things you have to do is for you to be able to have a roof over your head. And the mistake a lot of people make is that they used to talk about bush. Ah, that place is bush. And I used to make one joke that there is money in the bush. That was why America made their president George Bush. And the place where we are today was once a bush. For those that came to Lagos very, very early, you will note that Ikeja was not developed when Mushi and Ujuelegba was developed. When you are going to Ikeja, then they will tell you, what are you going to do in that swamp? Because it was water. And then some people then were selling their land at Ikeja, coming to buy land at Mushi and Isolo. So you will discover that everywhere you are now, even your bedroom, maybe it was a tree that was growing there sometimes ago, where you used to put your bed and say, I like this place. Your landlord decided that no, I'm going to make sure that I have a land in Lagos. And just like I used to say, that it's financial insanity to have a Land Cruiser and a Land Rover and still have a landlord. Because no landlord will ever give you certificates for staying longest in his house. Let us greet Mr. Jones. He's the longest chief tenant in this house. Please help me to give him a round of applause. He's been paying his house rent faithfully. That does not mean he's not going to increase the rent. It's going to still increase the rent. The rent is not going to stop going up. So as much as possible, if you get a land in a place and you have opportunity to develop it, even if you are not going to live there, you can always rent it out and then take the rent, supplement whatsoever you are paying here. Now, there are quite a number of places that are developing now. Like, let me give you some good example. If you check the back of Redemption Camp, they call it Shimawa. Redeem made a road in that place, from that place down like that. It went to link Ikorodu, and it went to link what's it called? This other part of Ogun State. Now that place, you can still get a land between, let's say, 1 million downward, depending on how close it is. Now, why I mention that place is because ordinarily, if you get there, you will discover that a lot of development is happening there. Buildings are coming up here and there, and that is an area that you need. The moment you are able to get a place like that, and then the next thing will just be, okay, let me plan to build. I'm still going to come to that. Another place you can look at for development like that is Ikorodu side. It's developing very seriously. And the last time I got all the necessary information from a friend that is into real estate, he actually went to check where Lagos State government dropped their instrument of work for the Fourth Mainland Bridge, because they've dropped the instrument at the other side of Lekki. Because they want to, the Fourth Mainland Bridge thing they are doing, they've dropped their instrument there, they are about to commence.
Wow.
So it's a big plus, and you see, you don't wait and buy land, you buy land and you wait. So a place like that is something you can look at and also pick up. Then there's a lot of development going on the Badagry Expressway side. You know, some years back, when they were telling people to come and buy Okota, that was how some people were saying, hey, they are thieves here. They used to carry it on. A plot of land there is selling for 22 million now. One plot. I could remember when we were planning to buy a property there, we have a school, and there we have one of the branches of the school. Myself and my wife, we have a school, so a nursery and primary school. We have a branch very close to the place. So when we were trying to buy the property there, one of the people we met was a pastor that told us that when the whole of this place was water, I was inside. He said, the man that is next to me now, he wants to sell his land. The church is very big, and the place is very spacious. The pastor has 2 plots. Now, the man next to him, give him his photocopy of his paper, in case he finds buyer. Now, inside the man's paper, he has 600,000. That was the original receipt he got from the original landowner. Now, he's selling for 8.5 million last. That was the price he was going to give me. He started from 9 million, and he said 8.5 million last. As we are talking now, there's no land here again, because what I'm telling you was about 3 years back. Now, and that was between this period of about 8 years. Period of 8 years, from 600,000 to 8.5 million. I'm trying to bring out the fact that whether you like it or yes, Nigeria is a developing economy. Prices of property will only go up. And you see, land is the only thing that, if tsunami takes place, you know, all of those things that used to happen in all of those countries, and it looks like movie, because we've never seen it here. And I pray